Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is Jeff Jacklich over there. Look at him. I mean, just all happy, smiles, just ready to dispense his knowledge, his expertise in the game of tennis. So stay tuned to another episode.
Stay tuned.
The Gold Ball
It's going to happen here in a moment.
Because I feel it. I feel something epic is just coming our way, everybody. So, guys, listen, thanks for hanging out with us again today. Another episode of the Gold Ball Hunting Podcast. I believe today is number 204. We're kind of barreling past number 200 on our way to 300, which a lot of fun. Guys, first of all is a free coaching call. Free 10-minute private coaching call, you, me, and Jeff. But you got to bring that one thing in your game right now that you feel is holding you back from getting the results you want in singles or doubles. 10 minutes, maybe it doesn't sound like much time, but if you bring one thing, believe me, we can help set you on the path to getting that result you want. Go over to goldballhunting.com. That's a website, goldballhunting.com. We used to have to say www, but we don't do that anymore. We used to say http://. We just, none of that stuff. Goldballhunting.com, drop in a first name and email address, click the button, and you'll get access to our online calendar scheduler where you get to choose the date and time that works best for you. So we were trying to come up with a topic, and I asked you to go over to the Gold Ball Hunting YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And find something for us to talk about today. And lo and behold, you went over there and came up with a pretty good nugget.
Yeah, good nugget, and we're gonna do a little shout out to Mr. Mark Wagner of Northern California tennis fame.
Oh my God, total fame.
Total fame, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to play with Wags at Kenyatta College for a year under legendary coach Rich Anderson.
Yep.
And that's when I got to know Wags, and we became pretty good buds. And he's been a friend ever since, and one of the top NorCal players, back in the day for sure, and just a great guy, one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet for sure. And
he's just a big-hearted guy, and loves the game of tennis, and has got quite a family pedigree in the game. Certainly in Northern California. Anyway, so tee us up, Jeff. What did Mark mention on that comment at YouTube?
Well, he mentioned about the USTA league players and foot faulting, and he's been on teams that have sectionals, districts, nationals, the whole thing. And what he mentioned was it's on Wednesday night, no one cares if you foot fault.
Wednesday night, you're having it's the brew crew, right? It's your buddies,
right? Or even a USTA match. There's no official there,
well, that's true.
You know what I mean? So it's not that no one cares, but you really have a hard time, making that stick in a match. So really, nobody kind of goes near it. But all of a sudden, you get to the sectionals, and there's officials walking around, and they have like badges and labels, and they have whistles, and they have walkie-talkies and hats on.
They got laser guns that if you swear, you get zapped.
Yeah, and maybe even a taser. I don't know.
That's what I meant to say, a taser, right?
If the USTA officials are that well-equipped nowadays, although sometimes I wish they were. And all of a sudden, there it is, tight at the end of a set or the second set, and you're going along just fine. And they call a foot fault on you, and that you don't need a warning. They don't have to give you a warning.
That's right.
In fact, when you start, when they flip the coin at the matches now, a lot of the referees will say, "This is your warning."
Yeah, that's right.
Right now,
right.
That this is your warning. If you have a tendency to foot fault, pay attention to it, because this is your warning. When I call it, it sticks.
Yeah.
When I call it, later on in the match, and that's for any other official that just happens to be walking by. It's not just somebody who's calling your match. It's as you players know out there, officials roam. They do it at the national senior events, and they do it obviously at the USTA league matches, league events as well, where they're just roaming. And when they see an infraction,
Well, look, and here's the problem is that it's unsettling, right?
Totally.
So all of a sudden, just like you said, you're cruising along and you're serving at 4-1 in the first set. And maybe the reason you've been holding serve is because you're stepping over the line. I don't know.
Could be.
Could be. And then someone just yanks it and just goes foot fault.
Yeah.
And you're kind of going, it's like your mind just goes into this space where you've never been before. And
right.
And the next thing you know is you've been completely yanked out of whatever concentration level you have.
Right. And your rhythm for sure because now you're tossing and you're worried about your feet.
That's right.
And if you're the type of player that steps forward with, one foot or the other or both, you might be in for a really hard afternoon or a quick end to the match that you thought you were in control of. And so I think this is a great topic that Mark brings up, because I've seen it happen at matches, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's within the rights of the official to make the call right then, no matter where it falls in the match. And I think this is something that, team captains, all you team captains out there, should, like, at a practice, walk around and see how many players are foot faulting and go, guys, you know what, gals, guess what? When we get to the sectionals up in Sacramento, they're going to call this. So we need to handle it. We need to get a handle on this, and you need to figure out how not to do that, because we don't need a foot fault call when we're serving for the match in the second set in the tiebreaker.
Yeah, and you cannot use the excuse. You can't use the excuse, well, everyone else foot faults. Right.
Or you didn't give me a warning.
That doesn't fly. That doesn't fly.
Sorry.
Yeah, how come you're picking on me? And according to the rules of the game, Jeff, if I'm not mistaken, even if there's not an official around, if you're foot faulting, an opponent can call it.
They can. Yeah.
So, and I know that this topic will raise questions to our listeners and our viewers. Are going to go, well, what happens? What do I do when there's no official and some guy's over there just stepping inside the court? You can call it.
Yeah.
And it's tricky. It's a really,
you're going to create a little tension and a little bit of an adversarial situation.
Yeah. So,
but it's within your rights to do so.
It is. And it's totally adversarial. I mean, there's no way to really set it up. I mean, a side change, you could say, hey man, look, I just want you to know that it's not a little foot fault. It's kind of a big one. And,
right.
And
that's really the thing there is that, obviously if it's close, I wouldn't bother like disrupting my own rhythm.
Right.
For that.
Well, I don't want to be looking for it. I'm not sitting there as a doubles player. Certainly as a singles player. How are you going to look for it if you're a singles player when you're back in the baseline?
Right.
It's pretty tough.
And so, but it is something like you just mentioned that you can, if it's completely flagrant.
Yeah.
It is something you can mention on the changeover and say, hey, you got a huge foot fault and you must know that you do it. So how are we gonna carry this match on from here?
You must know that you're cheating.
Well, without saying you're cheating, right? I mean, you must know that because it is cheating.
Yes, total.
It is cheating.
Well, so here's one of the great ways. So the guy says, "No, I'm not." All right. So it's my turn to serve. I walk up to the service line. Boom.
Right.
And the guy says, "What are you doing?" Hey, well, if you can foot fault, I can too.
Apparently, the baseline doesn't mean anything tonight.
Apparently not.
Just saying.
Just an arbitrary deal.
Right. So anyway, circling back to Mark's original comment, which was, these things happen at the worst possible time.
Yeah.
As team captain, and if you're not sure what a foot fault is, get your club pro to come out there for 10 minutes and watch everybody lay up a few serves and go, Bob, listen, it's your left foot, not your right foot. Even though you think it's your right foot because you step forward with your right stays behind the line, but your left foot, you actually turn it out and your toes cross the line. it could be something that you're not even aware of because it's such a subtle little move. And but it's something that I guarantee you, it will not happen at the best time. It will happen at absolutely the worst time. It's magical the way the USTA officials have that ability to capture you at your worst moment.
Right.
And it sticks. There's just nothing you can do about it. So Wags, it's a great comment, and I think it is something that players of all levels need to address at some point and figure out, is this something that's going to come back to haunt me at the worst time?
Yeah, and for me, I think 99% of the players out there aren't intentionally trying to improve their geometric thing by stepping on the line.
Yeah.
I mean, right. we're talking just an inch or something, but it's, I can't remember what I was going to say about this, but I know for me that I step forward a little bit with my left foot, and I just can't get sloppy. I can't get sloppy and just sort of get, just a hair behind the baseline, because I know that if I do that, I know I'm going to step on the line. So I make sure that I give it a cushion. And look, I don't want to give any official or any referee any reason to be watching my match and thinking, I'm going to nail this guy.
Because they will. Right, because they will. Well, once you do something like that, then they're going to hang out and see, is there something else going on?
Right.
Is there something else that's not? This guy's obviously doing this. He knows he does it, and yet he does it anyway. So
that's good.
I think like watching was it Jamie Murray and Andy Murray the other day playing dubs, right?
Yeah.
Jamie Murray he's a step and then brings the other foot up to match the other foot, right? So he starts
it's a big one.
fairly far behind the line to accommodate that rhythm and setup. One of the Bryan brothers does it as well. He's a two-step up and brings the other foot up. So it doesn't matter if you want to serve that way. It's perfectly fine, but you better figure out a way to do it behind the baseline.
Yeah, simple as that.
Yeah,
good stuff. Well, thanks, Mark. Mr. Mark Wagner, Wags. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Guys, we would love for you to leave comments. Whether comments or questions, give us some food for thought for future episodes here at Gold Ball Hunting. We would really, really appreciate it. And certainly Jeff and I will respond to your comments or questions over at YouTube. So Jeffrey, what would we like to find folks to do at this moment?
Like us, share us, please subscribe. Let us know what you think down below.
Right on, man. Groovy. Far out. Speaking of far out, get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Jeff will do this again tomorrow.
I can't wait.